are live on ABC's KMET 1490 AM.com, your number one spot right here for news and talk on the West Coast. I thank everyone for tuning in this morning. On the program, I welcome in one of the longtime legendary rock voices in music. He has performed with iconic groups such as Grand Prix, McAuley Schenker Group, Black Swan, Survivor. We welcome in the great Robin McAuley. Robin, Brian C., honor to have you.
Brian, good morning. Good morning, KMET. How is everybody on this Saturday morning? And so happy to be here. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, definitely an honor. So, we have quite a few listeners tuning in during these morning hours, Robin, and it's a thrill to have you on, go over your body of work with all of us. Why don't we begin with some of your early influencers? I understand you were big on Motown, right?
I loved Motown. Four Tops was, I still love it. It's as good now as it ever was.
And, Robin, what's interesting, many people may not be aware of, one of your favorite singers of all time is Paul Rodgers, right, of Bad Company.
This is true, listening to Four Tops, all that sort of great soul voices, those killer melodies, those great lyrics. And then I discovered Paul Rodgers with Free, actually, before Bad Company. And I went, wow. This guy has a lot of soul, and the rest, as they say, is history. He was a huge influence on that style of singing,
Amazing. Now, you've fronted so many legendary bands. So why don't we begin with the Grand Prix days? From what I gather, the original member Bernie Shaw leaves, and you get the call to join the group. How thrilled were you at that opportunity at that time?
Yeah, it was kind of funny because I actually was really good friends with the bass player and the guitar player, because we had a band before Grand Prix existed, a band called Rock Vocalist. We cut some demos, and then that whole punk explosion kicked in, and we were no competition for the Sex Pistols, for example. And then that band got a deal with RCA Records. The band were known as Paris. And then Bernie went on vacation. I get a call to come into the studio. They were recording their second album, and then they went, "Want to join the band?" And I went, "Well, where's Bernie?" And they went, "Yeah, do you want to join the band?" And I made 2 records with them, There for None to See and Samurai. And of course, after the end of Grand Prix, Phil Lanzon, the keyboard player, and Bernie Shaw went on to join Uriah Heep, and they've been there ever since. And I was talking to those guys just the other day, planning something maybe of a Grand Prix nature coming up sometime in the near future. So we're always, and of course I bump into those guys on the road a lot, because when I was out with Michael Schenker, we did shows with Uriah Heep. They did shows with us. It's a small world of musicians, and at some point we always bump into each other. So it's a great community, and get along really well. It's cool.
Yeah, we have a lot of music history buffs listening in, and as you mentioned, you recorded the last 2 albums with Grand Prix, There for None to See, right? 1982 and Samurai 1983. Before the group disbanded in 84. Now, why did the group disband?
Like everything else, it kind of, we toured with Iron Maiden, which was awesome. We did the very first tour that Bruce did, the Peace of Mind tour from Maiden. And, everybody sort of started going their own ways. And I actually transitioned from Grand Prix into making 2 records with a studio project out of Frankfurt, Germany called Fahrkorpchen. And myself, together with Bobby Kimball, who was no longer with Toto, we did a remake of Stairway to Heaven, and that just blew up the charts in the UK. I think it went to number 5 or number 8 or something. Sold a couple of million records. And we went on to make a bunch of studio records, did a ton of TV work. And during that same time, I ended up joining Michael Schenker. So it's funny, you transition from one into the next, and we were all on the same record label. We all knew each other, and it's, I don't know, kind of a natural progression, I suppose, if you like.
Yeah, and this was the mid 80s. I mean, touring with Iron Maiden. I mean, that is some big time company, huh?
It was, it was great because we knew Bruce. We used to rehearse next door to his band, Samson, and we Grand Prix played the Reading Festival. Iron Maiden were up there with Paul Di'Anno, and then Samson were on during the day. And directly as a result of Samson playing, Bruce gets the offer to join Maiden, and Grand Prix are up there. MSG are up there, and then soon afterwards, I get the offer to join MSG. So it's almost like there's headhunters out on the festival.
I mean, yeah, I mean, 1985 comes around, Robin, and this is the era which I feel that Robin McAuley becomes a rock household name because you join Michael Schenker, who was voted best guitarist of 2022 by Burn Magazine. How important do you feel the partnership of McAuley and Schenker played in making you a brand name in the industry?
How do I answer that? I was the last of, during my Grand Prix days, all in the Grand Prix days, Michael and his band came, and the great and late Cozy Powell, who was playing drums with him at the time, they came to see a show in London, which was kind of a warm-up show right before we went out with Sammy Hagar. We did the Standing Hampton tour in Europe with Sammy. And Michael came out, and I get a call the next day to come and hang at the studio with them. And I couldn't because I had this Sammy Hagar tour to do. And 4 years later, after I kind of refused to join, because I had no option really, it came full circle when we had Stairway to Heaven sitting on the top 10 in the charts. And then Rudolf Schenker heard our version of Stairway to Heaven. We did a show together with Robert Lynn. So it was like, all the attention was on us because of the single remake. And Rudolf Schenker heard it, talked to Michael, and Michael goes, yeah, that guy refused to join me 4 years ago. And this is now 4 years later. And so they tracked me down, and I was the last of 17 singer audition.
Wow.
And together with Klaus Meine and Rudolf Schenker and the management company, they said, we think you should be singing with the band. And the whole idea was they wanted to break into radio in the US, and they wanted that, to hit MTV and VH1. For some reason, they picked me, and we did just that. We got our MTV, we got our VH1, we got the tours.
Yeah, I think we lost Robin. Hopefully he'll be back with us. But as Robin was saying, getting together with Michael Schenker, and, when Robin comes back, I want to ask him, I would argue to say that Robin McAuley is arguably the best vocalist Schenker has worked with in his solo career. Michael Schenker Group, also known as MSG's first album, Perfect Timing, released in 1987, included the hit song, Gimme Your Love, resulting in Schenker's first top 100 U.S. hit. And I want to speak to Robin about that. Hopefully he'll be back online. While we wait for Robin McAuley, we can go over his website. Just tune into robinmccauley.com. robinmccauley.com. You'll see it's a great website. See a picture of Robin on the microphone. You can read more about his legendary career, photos, videos. Again, Robin McAuley, one of the legendary best vocalists, top 10 rock vocalists, I would say, and of all time. Robin, are you with us?
Yes, I lost you there. Did you go get coffee or something? Or what?
No, I think it froze up. So I was just, mentioning your website, robinmccauley.com. And I was saying, Robin, arguably you have to be the best vocalist Schenker has worked with in his solo career because, for the record, MSG's first album, Perfect Timing, released in 1987, included the hit song, Gimme Your Love, resulting in Schenker's first top 100 U.S. hit. How was it recording that hit song? We didn't.
the management, the record companies, they said, hey, we need something that's going to hit MTV, VH1, daytime rock radio in the US that Michael never had before. And, we wrote a bunch of songs. We had the late and great Andy Johns produce it, who was famous. He worked with Zeppelin, he worked with Free. And he had just finished the Cinderella record. And it was great. It was great. We got a look in at MTV and daytime radio here, and it was different. It was new for us. And when you release one, they want another one, and then they want another one after that. So there was a lot of pressure to sort of write that, I suppose, commercial edge to the writing, and it worked as long as it did. We just we weren't writing by numbers. The music was there. I'd write the lyrics, the melodies, and people would go, "This is cool." I mean, I didn't know. That's the God's honest truth. You write what you feel. You write what you have with the music, and the rest is up to the gods.
Yeah, I mean, and then 2 years later, after "Give Me Your Love," the band's biggest hit with the power ballad "Anytime" was released.
Yeah. Well, people just love that song. They liked it a lot, and it probably broke us more than anything at radio. And yeah, what can I say? It was a great time. The record company was happy, the management were happy, and we got the tours, and it was a fun time in music, and we're still having fun, and I think that's what's cool,
Yeah, what's also cool, and one of my favorite bands, Survivor. Here you join a band from 2006 to 2011, Survivor. So many hits, "Eye of the Tiger," "The Search Is Over," etc.
Amazing.
Oh, amazing! How was it being a part of Survivor?
Yeah, I had met Frankie Sullivan, believe it or not, at the end of McAuley Schenker Group, and John Kolodner over at Geffen Records. Was somehow he was upset that Anytime wasn't a bigger hit, and I remember him being, he was going, those people over at Capitol, they messed up. There should have been a big hit. And so he wanted me to get together with Frankie Sullivan, and he thought there would be a great bunch of tunes coming out of that relationship. And not to digress here, but Frankie and I actually wrote a record that became what people always think was my first solo record, called Business as Usual. It was never meant to be a solo record. It was meant to be, we would sell it, flog it to whoever took it. And the whole grunge and alternative explosion happened. So it was a classic rock record, and there was no room for it at the time in '94. And it kind of sat around for a bunch of years, and then it got released in Japan as a solo record with my name on it. And Frankie wanted me to join Survivor at that point. And I thought, you stick with Jimmy Jamison, because Dave Bickler was no longer in the band. And Jimmy was such a phenomenal singer, and just a great voice. And they got it back together again, and it only lasted a short while. And then Frankie called me again, and he goes, "You ready to do this now?" So I flew out to Chicago, sang a bunch of tunes, and 4 days later, I'm now out in front of about 25,000 people with Survivor, and I hadn't a clue what I was doing. And that's the truth. I had no idea what I was doing. I didn't know how the song started. I didn't know how they ended. And I had like sheets and sheets of lyrics up on top of the keyboards, and I'm going, "Oh my God, flick that page as soon as this song is over, and we'll get into the next one," because I have good recall when it comes to lyrics. But I messed up, and I stayed there for 5 or 6 years. Great songs. I mean, just the best catalog of songs. It's just amazing.
Well, that's the professional in you. I mean, you go with the flow. But I mean, I was going to say, you're with Survivor 6 years, so you must have been doing a fine job.
So I don't know how many people know this, but I think I was in Survivor maybe 2 months.
Oh, really?
I was already in it like 2 months, and then I get this call, hey, we're doing Dancing with the Stars. Going, we are? And he goes, yep, we're doing Dancing with the Stars, and you'll be singing live, and we won't be playing live, so good luck with that. and I remember we were over at CBS Studios in Hollywood, and like 5 minutes before the green light hits, the program director, she came to me with a little clipboard, and she goes, across the hallway is American Idol, and we are going to nudge it out number one viewing slot tonight. We have about 86 million viewers, and she goes, no pressure, have a good one. And I remember thinking to myself, I want my mommy. Yeah, so it was frying pan into the fire, but it was great. It was great. I mean, it was great. The dancers came out and they were all dressed up in like boxing cloaks, and they had capes on, and it was. You can watch it on YouTube. It's pretty amazing, actually. Yeah.
So you leave Survivor, and then you're with Black Swan. Is that the order?
Well, there was a long period of sort of getting back together, and I did a lot of studio work, and I got married, and my wife and I, we had twin boys, and I kind of took myself out of the business for a little while because I wanted to be around and see my kids walk, and I'm very much a family man. I love my family, and important. It's my foundation. And I did a lot more of MSG work, and then I actually, after Survivor, what really happened was I joined a cast called Raiding the Rock Vault, and we spent right up to the pandemic 7 years as a residency in Vegas. I performed almost 1,500 shows.
Wow.
5 nights a week, every week. That show, last week, I was back in Vegas to celebrate the 10th year anniversary of Raiding the Rock Vault. And I went in for a one night only, and then down to Jamaica for a corporate show with Raiding the Rock Vault. And that's what I was doing. It kept me like really, really busy, 5 nights a week, every week for 7 years. The pandemic hit, and Black Swan dropped our first record, Shake the World. And that went on into me releasing, Frontiers Music wanted me to keep the momentum, as they said. And so I released my first solo record with them, Standing on the Edge. And then we immediately went into the second Black Swan record, Generation Mind. And now we're up to my second solo record with Frontiers, Alive, which came out on February 17th. And I think somewhere along the line, I was able to stop and have a cup of coffee and breathe. But it's just been, people say, you're so busy, man. And I'm going, it doesn't feel busy, but I suppose it is. I love working, so I don't really think of it too much. I'm not strapped for time. It sort of rolls over into the next thing, and you keep the momentum, and it's kind of good. It keeps you active, keeps you alive, man.
Yeah, no, I read somewhere that you like being busy. You really do.
Yeah, I love it. It keeps your mind active. I don't have a book of words hidden away somewhere that I just go, okay, there's the next song. It doesn't work like that. It's everything's new. There's no old material. We don't dig into a vault of sort of old stuff that we never used. Actually, I like to keep everything fresh. I have a great band on this record. like I did the same band that's on my first solo, Standing on the Edge. Alessandro Del Vecchio, who's the Frontiers label guy, but he also plays keys and bass and produces my record. Andrea Cerveso is just a killer guitar player. And Nicholas Papapico on drums. So we're hoping to take it live this year, just so I can have something extra to do. And I'm looking forward to that. Yeah, it's a great record. Very happy.
Now we have 5 minutes left. So talk about, so Alive is your new release, right? Alive?
Yeah. Yes.
All right. So we have a quick sample that I want to play on KMET radio. Let's check it out. Let's hear it. There you have it. Robin McAuley is back. The legendary vocalist is back with his new album, Alive. Nice job, Robin.
Thank you guys so much. Thank you.
Nice job. And before I let you go, I mean, you played with some great guitarists. How was it performing with Jeff Pilson, a foreigner?
Oh, my God. So Jeff was best man at my wedding years ago this year. 30 years this year. And so Jeff and I have a great history as friends, family. And working with Jeff is, actually, I'm surprised we actually get anything done because, I'll be in the middle of doing a vocal and I'll think of something and I go, hey, do you remember that? And we'll just start chatting. And an hour will pass and we go, shoot, we better get on with this. And that's the kind of relationship we have. And of course, Red Beach with Winger, Whitesnake, Red sends you a whole bunch of music and you're going, why are you sending it to me, dude? You've written some of the biggest hits in classic rock. But we have a great working relationship, a great recording relationship. And we have a blast. The $1 million question is if Black Swan will ever actually see the light of day and end up on stage together. And I say never. So who knows? It would be awesome. And it's great working with those guys. And I believe I can tell you that there will be a third Black Swan record. So anybody that's listening and wants to hear some more Black Swan, there is a third record coming, so we're excited about that.
Wow. So for your fans listening, where can they find you? Any touring happening soon?
If you go on to Robin McAuley official Facebook site, I'll keep everybody updated with what's coming up there. If you want to interested in ordering the record, whether it's Black Swan and or my solo records, you can go to Frontiers Music SRL, and the site just tells you everything. Or if you go to YouTube and listen to and watch the singles, all of the information is on there. Also, I'm on Instagram, I'm on Twitter, and I am on Spotify if you want to go on and listen to the entire album on there. So send me a message on Facebook. I'm pretty good. If there's hundreds and thousands, I mightn't get back to every one of them, but I'm pretty good at least saying hello. I think it's really important to do that. So I do spend time, whether I'm sitting on a plane or a bus or something, I will go through everything and make sure that I at least wave at you. So, and I appreciate it. I thank everybody that listens. It's really important. I couldn't do this without you guys, and I love you all, and thank you so very much, really.
Robin, honor to have you. Thank you so much. Take care of yourself.
Brian, God bless you guys. Thank you, Sean, and have a great weekend. Thank you for having me.
My pleasure. RobinMcAuley.com. Until next week, happy collecting to all.